What's going on YouTube? Omega V here with you, and today I'm actually bringing you one of my more competitive decks, I should say. Yeah, so that would be Trickstars, as you can see here from the start. It's not my most competitive deck. It's probably maybe tied for 4th on there, but yeah, this is a pure build, so obviously it's not going to have a lot of things that some of the other Trickstar builds that you see. So it's not the Trickstar Sky Striker build, which, by the way, I absolutely hate. But yeah, so sorry for the lack of deck profiles lately, guys. I'm just gonna be fully honest here. The reason for that is that we're kind of just waiting on Cybernetic Horizon to drop, so that way we can just profile some of the decks that we're going to be updating anyways with that. So for example, my Rockets I'm going to be updating, Cybers I'm going to be updating, we're going to be updating Noble Knights, Neospatians, a bunch of different decks are going to be updated here as soon as Cybernetic Horizon drops. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this deck profile here. Alright, so starting off with the monster lineup, 3 Trickstar Candinas, so pretty standard in any Trickstar deck. She's the Searcher. When she's normal summoned, you can add 1 Trickstar card from your deck to your hand, so you can add your Reincarnations, other Trickstar monsters if you need them, and whatnot. So pretty standard to run in all the decks, or Trickstar decks at least, so yeah. And next up, of course, we have 3 Trickstar Lycris, because this is a pure build, so I don't see why I wouldn't run 3. So her effect is reveal this card, target 1 Trickstar monster you control, except for Lycris, and special summon this card. If you do, return that card to the hand. Each time this card is added to your opponent's hand, inflict 200 damage. So yeah, I think all the Trickstar monsters inflict 200 damage if I'm not mistaken. Some of them might inflict a little more, but for my style of play here with this deck, really I try to go into Lycris as quickly as possible, because I just focus a lot on burning opponents for damage with this deck, and I have ways to hit over stronger monsters, but this, again, Trickstars is basically a burn deck for all intents and purposes here, so yeah. Alright, so next up, I do only run 2 Trickstar Rototes. She's okay in situations, but I don't really want to see her in my opening hands. Like, I'd rather draw into her later on. So her effect is discard 1 Trickstar card, target 1 Trickstar Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it once per turn, and then every time a card is banished from your opponent's graveyard, inflict 200 damage for each card banished. So yeah, it's kind of the only reason why I run to her. Like, her effect is good, but only if you've already link summoned and have one in your graveyard, and otherwise there's not really a point to be using her. So yeah, I normally don't like seeing her in my opening hand. She's kind of just a dead draw there. If you do, she just becomes discard fodder at that point. Okay, and then next up I do have 2 Trickstar Narcissus, or yeah, Narcissus, right? So I actually forgot that she got reprinted in Ultra Rare, so I'll probably be buying that here shortly when I buy some new cards. But yeah, her effect is if your opponent takes effect damage except during the damage step, special summon this card from your hand. Then only once per turn off for that one. Then second effect is if your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or graveyard, inflict 200 damage after it resolves. So yeah, it can be helpful at times there. So again, only 2 of her for the same reason that she's okay later in the game, but don't really want to be seeing her right off the bat there. Okay, then next up, 2 Trickstar Mandrakes. So her effect is if this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material for the link summon of a Trickstar monster, target one monster in opponent's link monster points to and destroy it. So yeah, she can be really helpful if you're facing off against something like Goki's that, for example, Great Ogre relies on having monsters that it points to in order to save itself from destruction. So she can be really helpful at clearing out some of the more problematic cards like that. And then next up, 2 Trickstar Nightshades. So her effect is if this card sent to the graveyard as link material for a link summon of a Trickstar monster, special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Only once per turn on her, so she's a really good starter. Also, if you play the links like I do, like she's basically a free link too, because you'll link summon into your link 1, she'll special summon out, and then you can link summon into your link 2. So yeah, I find it really helpful, especially late game, or later in the game if you haven't established a board presence, or if you need to get over an opponent's monster that you can't get over. So yeah, she can definitely be helpful, but again, like, I might actually bump her up to 3, honestly. Like, she's not that bad if you draw her in. You can always discard her if you need to, but I don't know yet, we'll see. Then the last Trickstar monster I run is 1 Trickstar Lilybell. So her effect is if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it from your hand. Use this effect once per turn. This card can attack directly, and when it inflicts battle damage, target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So yeah, I kind of run one of her because I never really want to see her. Like, she's good at recycling things if you need to recycle them, but really, like, I mean, 800 damage, yeah, it can wear down an opponent over time, but more than likely they're going to be able to hit over her. So yeah, one of her I feel is plenty. Okay, and now for the hand traps that I play. The reason that I said this wasn't one of my more competitive decks was because I don't run any Ghost Ogres, Droll and Lockbirds, stuff like that, because they're in other decks, but I run 3 Effect Veilers. Basically the same thing as Ghost Ogre, negates an effect, except it doesn't destroy it, so yeah, 3 is fine. I don't mind having her in my opening hand. Kind of just helps out there and whatnot, so yeah. And then, because they're all light monsters, I do just go ahead and run the 3 Honest here. Obviously, opponent's monsters can get over these cards really easily, so Honest kind of helps you get over some of the cards that your opponent might be running. Onto the spells and traps. So starting off with the spells, of course running 2 Trickstar Light Sages. I don't have 3, unfortunately. I messed up when I was ordering them and only ordered 2, so when I order more cards, I'm probably going to go ahead and switch this up to 3, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens with it. So obviously Light Sage Arena, if you don't know it, when it's activated, add 1 Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, target 1 set card of your opponent's spell and trap zone. They have to activate it during the end phase. Can't activate it any other time, and if they don't, send it to the graveyard. Then each time a Trickstar monster you control inflicts battle or effect damage to your opponent, inflict 200 damage to them. So combo off with Lycoris, it inflicts 400 damage per turn on there. Basically every time they draw a card, 400 damage, and you can just do a lot of damage that way. So another reason why, like, I'm not too worried about running 3 of the Light Sages is because I do run 2 of the Light Arena, actually. So Light Arena it's really helpful if you're playing a pure build like this one and actually going into the links more often than not. So yeah, this card's effect is when you link summon a Trickstar monster, target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard that was used as material, special summon it in defense position but negate its effects. So you can only use this once per turn. Then the second effect is basically the same part of it. So target 1 set card of your opponent's spell and trap zone, cannot be activated till the end phase, must activate it, or it returns to the hand. So it returns it to the hand instead of destroying it, which is fine, but yeah, this makes it really helpful to just get out your links as quickly as possible. So yeah, this card, if you have Light Arena on the field and you use Nightshade to go into Link Monster, it's basically a free Link 3 right there. Just, again, because I'm just playing the pure Trickstar build, so it's a free Link 3 for one of your Link 3 Trickstars. Possibly for your Bella Madonna if you're have the right cards on the field. Or if you have another monster on the field, I should say. Okay, so moving on to Trickstar Light Bouquets. So this one's effect is target one Trickstar monster you control and one face-up monster in the field. Return that Trickstar monster to the hand, and if you do, the other monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the return monster till the end of the phase. So it's kind of just there to help out, again, to get over those beefier monsters that maybe just can't get over, missing a couple extra attack points there. But yeah, it's there. It's come in handy a couple times. Then lastly, to round out the spells, one Dark Hole, just kind of a free board swiper, or board wiper I should say, and one creature swap. So on to the trap cards. Alright, so 3 Trickstar Reincarnations. Pretty standard. Really glad that this card got reprinted because it wasn't super expensive, I guess. It was $25-ish, like $25 to $30 for the most time, and so it wasn't super expensive, but really for this deck I didn't really want to buy it, so once it got reprinted I just went ahead and bought it. But yeah, so banish your opponent's entire hand. If they do draw the same number of cards, banish this card from the graveyard, target one Trickstar monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So really good for potentially getting rid of some of your opponent's strategy if, say, maybe they drew a good hand the first time and had some good combos to go off of it. You can just activate it, get rid of their entire hand, which actually goes into their next card. So same thing with this card. Next trap card, 3 present cards. So this card's effect, your opponent discards their entire hand and then they draw 5 cards. So comboed off with Reincarnation, you can, like, basically in one turn you can make your opponent discard 10 cards and draw 10 cards. So that can be actually really helpful to you, especially if you have the Lycoris and the Light Arena on the Light Stage on the field. So that's 400 damage for each one, and then so that would be 4,000 damage right there, just off of one card combo. And then to add to that combo, I run 3 reads. So this card's effect is each time your opponent draws a card, they take 500 points of damage for each card drawn. So yeah, again, keeping on with that combo, like that's 5,000 damage just with the 3 trap cards there. So that can really really mess with your opponent. Like you can easily OTK with this deck if you have a Lycoris on the even with just a Lycoris on the field. Like you're already inflicting 200 damage, so that's already 2,000 plus the 5,000 there, so 7,000 damage in one turn. And if you have the Light Arena, then your opponent's done basically just with those cards. And then just to finish off the combo to make it even more annoying, I do run 3 Null and Voids. So this card's effect is basically, so it's a pretty simple effect, but it's a really good card actually that I'm not sure why more people don't run in this deck. It's kind of the same as a Droll and Lockbird. So this card's effect is when an effect that makes you draw cards is activated, both players see all the cards drawn and then they banish them. Sorry, they send them all to the graveyard. So yeah, that kind of just screws over your opponent really. Like if you just draw into the Reincarnation, Greed, Null and Void, and Present card, like if you just draw those 4, then your opponent kind of becomes helpless even if you don't draw any of your monsters, because what can they do at that point? They already lost most of the damage that they're gonna take and they have no cards in their hand left at that point. So kind of just finishes off a little loop there that's really annoying but also really fun to play at the same time. Then 2 Mirror Forces, just again, nice little way to protect your monsters. 1 Grand Horn of Heaven, I like Grand Horror Heaven just because it ends the main phase, and your opponent has to go into the battle phase, so if they spend all that time trying to special summon a monster and you just negate it, and then they have no monster to go into the battle phase, so basically it ends their turn if they have nothing else on the field. Then last but not least for the traps, of course, one Solemn Warning because it's Solemn Warning. No other reason is really necessary. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Let's go on to the extra deck. Alright, so starting off for the extra deck, we have 3 Trickstar Blooms. So Bloom's effect, it's alright, but it's a link 1, so it's really easy to get. All it requires is 1 level 2 or lower Trickstar monster. So yeah, it's really easy to get out. If this card is link summoned, make your opponent draw 1 card. If face up Trickstar monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. So yeah, she's alright. I kind of just use her more to start off the link plays, but she can be helpful at times if you really need one thing there. Alright, so then next up, I do run 2 Trickstar Holy Angels, so obviously the original Trickstar monster, so or Trickstar Link monster I should say. So each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Trickstar monsters this card points to can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and if your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster effect, this card gains equal attack to the end of the turn. So yeah, she's really good to use. I like going into her as often as I can, especially with this deck. Just because it kind of just suits me a little more than just trying to burn my opponents. So yeah, that's the thing I like about these Trickstars. They're really versatile, really. Like, they don't just rely on burning for damage, even though they can burn for damage like crazy. But moving on, 2 Trickstar Black Cats. So her effect, each time a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Each time your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster, face-up monsters they control lose 200 attack. So again, she's just really helpful to help you get over stronger monsters. Alright, and now for the link 3 Trickstar Narcissus, just because why not run 3 of her. When this card declares an attack while pointing to a Trickstar monster, target your banished Trickstar cards up to the number of link monster your opponent controls, add them to your hand. And if you do, this card gains 1,000 for each card added till the end of the turn. So yeah, she's really helpful if your opponent has Trickstar monsters on the field, because then you can get some of your cards back. But if your opponent has no link monsters on the field, then she's kind of just there. She's not really that good if your opponent doesn't have any link monsters there. So, and then last but definitely not least, 3 Trickstar Bella Madonnas. So her I try to go into as often as possible. Like if my burn damage combos get destroyed or something, I definitely try to go into her as quickly as possible. While this link summon card points to no monsters, it is unaffected by the card effects. If this card points to no monsters, inflict 200 damage for your opponents for each Trickstar monster in your graveyard, for each with a different name. So yeah, you can easily get into her, and you can have a lot of cards in your graveyard pretty quickly with this deck. So she can inflict easily 1,000 damage per turn on there if your opponent. Plus, she's a 2800 beater, so she's not as frail as some of the other Trickstar monsters. But yeah, that's it for this deck profile, guys. Again, once Cybernetic Horizon drops here in 2 weeks, we will definitely have deck profiles more consistently for you guys. We're just waiting on it so that way we don't have to update things and redo them again here in just a week or so. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and we'll see you next time. Later.